How's it going? I want to talk about call tracking and generally how it works. This is not a video of how to do it. This is not a tutorial on how to do it. This is just a video for contractors and home service businesses so you can understand call tracking, why, how it works generally, and that information. I think it's important for you as a business owner to understand how this stuff works so that you can use it to be effective for you and to help you. And so you can I think generally understanding it is always going to be a benefit for you so you can manage it properly and make sure it's working for you. So, let's start with the problem. So let's say you are starting to spend some money on your business and you want to make more money. Seems reasonable. So you go and you hire an SEO and you start spending money on Google Ads and you make some door hangers and you go start putting those out. And then, hey, it starts to work. And you have an extra $1,000 now that you want to spend and you want to get the most impact from that $1,000. Where do you go? Do you put it into SEO? Do you put it into ads or door hangers? Or let's say you actually need to save another $1,000, but you don't want to lose out on the business that you're getting, and you need to cut $1,000 from somewhere. Do you cut it from your SEO, from your Google Ads, or from your print materials? Well, this is where call tracking comes in. If you don't know what's working, you can't make good decisions. And if you put one phone number out there on everything, you have no way to track where different people are coming from. So this is where call tracking comes in. Call tracking lets you see where customers are coming from. Okay, it lets you do your numbers. It lets you see if you're missing out on people who should be becoming estimates that you're getting as leads, or maybe you're missing calls, right? Or maybe your team isn't calling people back properly, right? So it helps you with all of these different situations that are really important to a business owner and making more money. So that's kind of the why. So I kind of talked about this a little, but this isn't a tutorial, right? I just want to help you understand what's happening here. So what call tracking is generally is that instead of having your number everywhere, one number, we can put different phone numbers in different places strategically. So when someone calls that phone number, it still goes to your phone or wherever you want it to go. But now you know where that person was at when they made the call. So this way we can track that information. So I'm going to start with the simple setup of how I use call tracking to track a newer business or a smaller business, and then how that kind of gets more advanced and more robust as a business is bigger. And then I'm going to finish with kind of the most advanced placement of call tracking and how that's working, just so you have the logic here of what's happening. So first we start with somebody who's smaller, maybe a newer business. What we'll do is we'll get a phone number for their Google business profile and for their website. And this can be basically the exact same number, since most of your online activities are going to be driven by these two assets. And for a home service business and a contractor, especially someone new, it's all basically going to be coming from the Google business profile, either to there and then someone calls, or to there, then to your website and someone calls. So I generally use the same phone number in both places, but you could always put a different phone number on your website if you want to further break down where people are calling from. That's not too big of a deal. So that's number one. And then number two is, now you want to go make some print materials. You want to go make some door hangers, some flyers, you want to make a brochure, you want to go put up yard signs, which I'm a huge advocate for these things. You can put a phone number that kind of goes on those, or you can even break that down further and put a different phone number on each of those. This way, now we're starting to get some data. Lead comes in. Hey, that person came from online, from our Google business profile or the website, right? Oh, another one comes in. Hey, look, that's coming from a door hanger, right? Or our print materials. Now I'm starting to get some idea of what's working. And this helps me also make corrections. I want to know if our door hangers are being effective. If I can't tell the difference between someone calling from a door hanger and not, that's going to be a problem. And door hangers usually require offers. They require a design that works. So it's a really good thing to test and make sure that the money you're spending there is working or not. So there's all of these reasons to track once again. So that's kind of step one. Now we add on something like Google Ads. We get a new phone number for that, right? Now when somebody goes to a Google ad, we can display our phone number there. They can call. And then if they go to our website, we can send them to a specific landing page with that unique phone number. Same with LSA ads, local service ads. We could put a different phone number on there for when someone calls. Now we know they called from LSA. Now we can know, hey, look, our LSA ads aren't working as well as we thought, but the Google ads are working really well. Our door hangers aren't working very well, but the Google ads are. That is such valuable information. And if you're not looking at this as like one or the other, it also just helps you better understand where you can improve and if it's working. So improvement is basically impossible without something like this. So this is how generally the call tracking will evolve over time to have a few more phone numbers, right? And you'll be all of a sudden you're tracking 10, 15 different things. And that's great. It's awesome. Now we get to a point where this needs to become more advanced because we have one problem. If somebody comes from, and it's an online problem. If somebody comes from Google Ads or they come from Facebook, right? Or they come from our Google business profile or they come from Nextdoor ads that we're running. What if they don't just go to one page? What if I'm looking for your service. I see a Google ad. I click it. It takes me to a page and I decide I want to look around. So I start clicking around on your website. Well, that becomes a problem. The problem is now we can't track if they went further than just that first page that had the unique Google ad landing page number on it. Now they're getting a different number that's on the rest of our website. So what we do now is we flip this whole thing for the website the opposite way. Instead of tracking Google ads based on a number, we track the person based on a number. So what we do is we have a pool of phone numbers. Maybe you have 8 phone numbers. They're all unique or 10 or whatever. It just depends on how much traffic is how many we pick. It's not something it's not rocket science, right? You just have this basket, I'll call, of phone numbers. And when somebody comes to your website, we already know where they came from. That gets tagged to them by just how the websites and internet work. We already know that information. So now they get a phone number that also gets tagged to that person that they see no matter where they go. So if John comes to my website, he gets his own phone number and he can go anywhere he wants on that website. And if he calls, I know that John called. I know that this number was dialed. John was the one that had that number and John came from Google Ads. So now I can follow people who come to the website anywhere they go on the website and we can get better data, which it's always about. And now I even have a better idea, right, of who came from Google Ads, who came from LSA ads, who came from all of these different sources we call, because I can tag those to the individuals that are coming to the website. And then once they leave the website, that number goes back in the basket. And then when another person comes in, we give them that number. So in this way, we're not tracking the source based on the source. We're tracking it based on the person getting their own unique phone number on our website. And all of this just breaks down once again to the point being, how do we know where our money is working so we can spend money there? How do we know where it's kind of working so we can improve and track improvement? And how can we know where it's not working so we can either fix it or cut it so that you can ultimately make more money? That's what it's all about. Unfortunately, as much as the contractors and home service business people don't like it, you have to be an accountant. You have to be at some level and some layer an accountant, because making money is all about accounting. That's what it is at its core. So just accept that you have to be an accountant a little bit, and it will do wonders for you. So hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, I think it's important for you to understand how all of these things on the internet work at some level, so you can make sure they're being implemented properly and make sure that they're helping you. And you can use these tools to help you. They're there to help you. But if you don't have just a little bit of understanding about how they work, it's hard to get them to work for you. If you want help implementing this or SEO or talk about your business, reach out. Josh@brightbeamseo.com. I have a download right now on my website that is for how to do Google Business, Google Maps, SEO yourself. If you want to dive into that and learn more, or we can always talk. Brightbeamseo.com. You can contact me through there. I love talking about this. I'm always open to talk more about your business. Appreciate it. You have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.